My wife gave me an article years ago about a man who was he was a journalist, a very successful man. He traveled a lot for work. And he and his wife had been married for I don't know how many years. And they fell into a pattern which many couples fall into. And this, by the way, this exists, parents and children, husbands and wives, parents and children, siblings for sure. Where they got married, and they got married. Why do people in America get married? Because they fell in love. No one's sure what that means, but they fell in love. And over the course of their marriage, they developed a certain status quo, a certain nature of their relationship, which included regular insults. He had complaints to her, and she would put him down, and then he would put her down. This was the good morning, I love you. You know, you're a baby. When are you going to grow up? You treat me like I'm a little child. You think you're my mother, whatever. These are the classic grievances. But they fell into this pattern of mutually inclusive insults. But this couple, this man and his wife, loved each other, but they would constantly berate one another. And he describes being away from home in some hotel on some kind of a trip and just thinking about his marriage. And he asked himself a simple question. Do I love my wife? Do I want to remain married to this woman? And he concluded beyond the shadow of a doubt that he loved her and he wanted his marriage to work. But he thought about the fact that all they did was put each other down. It just became their norm. He describes being in the shower in a hotel and just crying about the fact that the person in the world he loved the most, he couldn't get along with. It was a series of bad habits. You know, it's a trigger and a counter trigger. It's, you know, there's a dance. Life has a dance. And all of us play a part. In our relationships, patterns are established over time. And some of those patterns are bad patterns where we almost feel like there's no way out of it. This is just the way it is. You put me down this way, so I put you down that way, and this is just the nature of our love. Anyway, he decided he's breaking the pattern. He's breaking the pattern. He loves his wife, he wants his marriage to work, he's just not getting, but he came to a conclusion, which really would be nice if we all came to the same conclusion. His conclusion was, I cannot change my wife, I can only change me. The bad habits that she has, the fact that I've allowed her to put me down for these 25 years, that's her business. If she's gonna fix it, that's on her. But I don't gotta play the same game. I don't have to dance the same dance, I can stop. And he comes home from this trip, and he says to his wife, I love you very much. Please tell me something that I could do for you. And she gives him a torrent of insults and curses and says, what are you up to now? What do you want from me now? Why are you doing this? No, this is on the this is on the level. I love you and I want to do, and she refuses to believe him. So she insults him some more. He says, no, I really mean it. Try me out. She says, listen, we've lived in this house for 20 years. Our garage has been a mess for 19 of them. Clean the garage. And he hated cleaning the garage. This was one of their regular arguments. So he spends 3 days and he cleans the garage. He puts everything in its place. He throws things in the garbage. He organizes it. He even gets the grease off the concrete. And he comes to his wife and says, I did it. And she goes into the garage, and something that she's wished for almost the entire duration of the marriage is done, and she cannot believe it. And he says to her, I love you still. Tell me what else I can do for you. So she really gets upset because she's thinking that something is going to come. You know, after 1, 2, or 3 of these favors, she's going to pay. She's going to have a debt. So she screams at him and says, listen, I need you to be honest with me. What are you exploiting me for? What do you want in return? I want nothing. I just want you to know I love you. Anyway, he does another thing and another thing. And after a few weeks, she discovers that he actually means it. And she breaks down and she says to her husband, I cannot imagine why you want to live with me. I'm such a miserable person. And he saved his marriage. He saved his marriage not by changing her, because that you cannot do. He saved his marriage because he changed him.